Hello, welcome. I am with my amazing client, Briony. 6 months has gone so freaking fast. And when she came to me, she was 5 months trying to test out thyroid, exhausted, bloated, stuck at the same weight for over 5 years, worrying that your body was just fucked and was different to everyone else's, right? And I'm going to share with you, and hopefully Bryony's going to share a few things that were helpful for her. But let's just get a little bit of an idea of where were you? Because people will see this you on this screen, beautiful, bright, and energetic today, but that wasn't always you, right? Like, what was life like for you 6 months ago?
Yeah, so very different to now in the sense that, I mean, one of the main reasons that I sort of signed up for this was my energy was just so low. For a bit of background, I'd been vegan for maybe 5 years. Um, and I was having issues with my thyroid. I was having regular blood tests. My periods were really sort of scatty. I was really drained, napping all the time, and I just felt like I was missing out on life in a sense. Like I just always felt shattered, and I thought I was eating healthy. I thought because I was vegan, I was eating healthy, and I clearly probably wasn't. I wasn't getting the nutrients and all that to give me the energy to sort of live a good life. So yeah, I wasn't
Mm,
I wasn't in the best place. I felt very swollen. That was another thing. I was very puffy, very
mhm,
bloated.
mhm,
Um, and I just felt like a bit of a slug, to be
mm,
honest. So that's where I
mm.
was 6 months ago.
And you had problems with your thyroid. Like, what made you go and test for that? And that was like a 5 month period that you were just trying to figure out what was going on for you. What was going on for you right then?
Yeah, definitely. So effectively I was just constantly bleeding.
Hmm.
Um, and I mean for a long time with no break, which obviously, as
Mm.
you know, is very draining. So I went and had loads of tests. I had scans, um, smear tests, all sorts, and then effectively my blood results came back, and they sort of identified. And I can't really remember the ins and outs of it because I don't understand medical talk, but it was something to do with like a lack of iodine in my diet. That's what they thought it was to do with. Um, and I actually at one point thought it was an underactive thyroid. Um, and I was like, oh, okay, at least that might be a reason why I'm not losing weight.
Mm.
That I might get some medication and then lose some weight. But actually it wasn't an underactive thyroid. It was just something to do with lacking something in my blood that was sort of whacking everything off. But the good news is that now I have absolutely no problems. And I'm like clockwork, the periods are healthy. And obviously because I'm not bleeding out, I have really sort of like high energy. And it's just mad. I think we were reflecting on a call last week.
Mm.
I'd forgotten that was even the reason why I'd signed up for
Mm.
this. And that was sort of the
Mm.
thing that really made me reach out to you in the first place. And I remember
Mm.
that first message to you just saying, I'm having issues, I'm getting tests on, there's something wrong with my thyroid. So they think it's diet related. Um, and yeah, it's just mad that I'd forgotten that that even happened last year.
Yeah, absolutely. So like you were going through months and months of pain, of exhaustion. I know for 5 years you couldn't lose weight, right? I remember when you messaged me being like, "Yeah, I hit this number. Like I've not seen this number in years." So not only did the weight start to decrease, the inflammation, the puffiness around your face and around your body started to decrease. Your belly started to go down, so flatter stomach. But your periods, as you just mentioned, are back like clockwork again, which is as women, we know is like, oh my God, we hate them when they're here, but when they start working like clockwork again, it's like a huge relief, right?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, I'll never take it for granted again, having sort of like sort of clockwork periods. And yeah, I just think, you touched on the sort of 5 years weighing the same weight. Like it was so frustrating because I was dieting, I was counting my calories on things like my fitness pal. I've always enjoyed exercise and I've always sort of, regularly gone to the gym and things like that. But the weight was just not shifting.
Yeah.
Which is why I thought it was, oh, it must be thyroid related. Um, and I'd often like wake up in the morning and be like, oh, I feel really good. And then who I was going to bed was just ballooned. That's what I felt like. I felt really bloated and just like a completely different person in the morning. And I was just sort of fed up with that feeling.
Mm,
So yeah.
amazing. So, because that's just changed and you feel it. You're not napping as much, not nearly as much, right?
No,
Not like
no.
you're exercising daily. I remember a couple of weeks ago you came to me and you was like, Bianca, I'm like, am I exercising too much? I'm like, does it feel good? Yeah. Then no, you're fine.
Yeah,
Like so much has changed. You've got so much more energy. You're not napping as much. You're not as inflamed. You've lost over 10 pounds, which is about 5 kg. And like you weren't overweight, right? You just had extra, you were just holding on to a little extra body fat, and it wasn't a huge amount to lose, right? Because some people have got 50 pounds to lose, but then some people are struggling with that last 5 kg, right? And we
yeah,
just had a conversation. You said, you know what? If I could lose another kg, that'd be cool, but it's not the be all and end all at the moment anymore. Amazing.
yeah.
So, um, I would love to just ask you, like, what were the three things or lessons or something that was like made the biggest difference for you in this 6 months journey?
Yeah, so I think okay, so the first thing is sort of the magic plates. I think they were a
Everyone says
huge
the magic plate. Honestly, people who are not clients are probably like, "What's this magic plate?"
but it's so useful for me because again, having been vegan before this, I
Yeah.
didn't realize how much I was eating fake meat for protein.
Hmm.
Um, and having that sort of traffic light system as well, where fake meat was in the reds, and I was like, okay, let me think of other ways that I can sort of have that on my plate.
Hmm.
Um, it's just been really good. I think I also was stuck in a rut a little bit in terms of what I was eating. It was very repetitive. I didn't have much variety. But because of the magic plates, I've been able to just eat different foods. I'm excited to eat it as well. It doesn't feel like a diet in that like, oh, no, I've got to eat like I don't know, the apple diet or some of those crazy things people do. It's like
Literally,
enjoyable
there's one called
food.
a cabbage diet, and I've had clients who have been on the cabbage diet before.
Well, there you go. So it's like it's been enjoyable. I've not been restricting my calories. That's huge.
Yeah.
I've just been eating healthy food that's given me energy. So I think that's a real massive one. Um, Something else that's been really good for me is water. And the fact that water gives us energy. Had no idea that was a thing. I would go to coffee or energy drinks for energy.
Hmm.
After a nap. So
So
having
you
the
take a
like,
nap, wake up and have an energy drink straight away, and
yeah,
now you don't do that at all.
no.
That's
And
fantastic.
the water chapters that you sort of introduced are so good for me. I need sort of like scheduled things to make sure I stay on track. So that's been really useful. Um,
Amazing. Amazing.
and then the final thing I would say is just slowing down consciously when I'm eating. I think I was often
Hmm.
someone who would eat in a rush. I wouldn't allow enough time to eat. So I'd be eating so quick that I wasn't registering things like if I was full. I wasn't even enjoying the food. I was just, you know, chowing down. So I think sitting down, not watching TikTok while I'm eating or not, being distracted by something has been a real game changer as well. So I'd say they're like the three main takeaways.
Amazing. I was just writing them down because I've got a memory like a goldfish. So I think with the magic plates, just to go back to that one, with the magic plates for you, it is more about that nutrition knowledge and having the understanding of creating balanced meals that keeps you satisfied and keeps you energized in between meals.
Yeah,
So having that knowledge and that system for you. And sorry, I'm aware that you've got to go in a minute.
it's all good.
Using little mini targets to hold you accountable for the simple
Yeah.
little habits. And
Hmm.
number three is slowing down, not multitasking, and being present while eating. What kind of a difference has that made to you?
All three of them, or just that last one?
Ooh, either.
Um, I would say well, the last one's obviously just, I mean, I needed to slow down anyway. And I needed to actually recognize what I was putting in my body because I was always rushing around. I was just grabbing things quickly, grabbing a packet of crisps there, whatever's just gonna fill a hole as such at the time. But I think all of those three things, the biggest thing that they've given me is yes, I've lost the weight that I couldn't shift for 5 years, and that obviously makes me feel great. But it's the energy and it's the being able to. I'm getting up every morning at 6:30. I'm going to the gym. I'm not napping on my lunch break, which is what I
Mm,
used to do. I'm getting
mm.
outside, so it's the I'd say it's like the quality of life. I would say that it's really given me
Better
that I just
quality
didn't
of
have
life.
before.
I love that. I love that. And just one final line, is there anything that you would love to really share with anyone who might be thinking about reaching out, not too sure, is this going to work for me? Maybe they might be on the fence. What would you say to them?
Well, I would just say that I mean, I reached out to you when I was sort of really struggling with my health.
Mm.
Um, Not having any idea if you would be able to help, I just thought I saw, I just saw what you were doing online and I thought, oh, maybe, vegan, plant-based. But the fact that we, meet so regularly, there's a support group, it's been so good for accountability. If you're someone who needs accountability like me, having sort of goals set, little tasks, that's what I need to like
Mhm,
engage.
mhm.
And also it's so personal and tailored towards the individual. So like my problems might be completely different to someone else that you're coaching, but also, and what I've realized in the group chat is we're actually all sort of having the same issues, or we're sort of sharing, advice, and
Yeah.
that's been really, really helpful as well. So yeah,
So
it's
you
been great.
You're never alone. Reach out because you just never know, even I like that. I like that because a lot of people are like, I don't know if you can help me. I'm like, just freaking pick up the phone and have a chat with me. Like, let's see. And if I can't help
Exactly.
you, I'll point you in the right direction. So I love the fact that you reached out. You weren't too sure where it was going to take you. The accountability was really helpful for you. Being surrounded by other women who are also struggling with the same things, kind of really helpful for you. And being in that environment where you're getting that constant touch point.
100%. And it's just such a positive environment as well, which I think is, it's not, there's other things have been involved in that can be quite competitive or can be like, I don't know, or negative, whereas this is just so positive and everyone's encouraging each other. It's just been really valuable.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful day.